Hey, it's Elijah Arroyo, and you're listening to the Fantasy Football Counselor.
Happy Monday, everybody. Fantasy football season in full effect. Good morning. I got an exciting one here for you. Been studying the training camp, been studying preseason, been studying all year, 365 days a year, and I've got top 10 fantasy football breakouts. These guys could be absolute league winners. And here's the deal. You got to stay to the end, because at the end, I've got two guys that could finish top 5 to top 10 at their position, and they're literally going undrafted, a tight end and a wide receiver in great positions to succeed. I'm sharing those two last at the end, potential breakouts. Now, I didn't limit it to rookies. There is a couple second-year players here as well. So it's a nice little combination, a little bit of mix. Got a tight end, got some wide receivers, got running backs, got a quarterback in there. So I've got 10 players that are just primed to absolutely dominate. And the cool thing is they are great value. They're sleepers. So it's kind of like breakout/sleepers, but I just labeled it breakouts, okay? And they're league winners as well. It's everything right here in this show. If you're new to the channel, if you love fantasy football, listen, this is the criteria. This is so simple. If you love fantasy football, that's why you're here. I hope that's why you're here. If you love NFL, if you want to be up to date on news and you want the truth to sports, meaning you don't want any BS, you don't want any cookie cutter advice, and you actually want stuff that's practical, it's going to help you win. The people that will tell you the truth, to look you right in the eye and say, don't draft CMC first overall. This was last year. While everybody's telling you to draft CMC, not mentioning the red flags. If you want the truth, it takes a second at a time. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm telling you guys, this is the only channel telling you the truth. And it's ultra entertaining. We got Jimmy Maverick coming on. We got Connor the Sheep on the show. We got Breaking Brad breaking the news. We got Walter from Walter Football, who's a draft expert on this show. Tim the Bald Guy. It's amazing here. So you guys got to subscribe and join the community. And I'm doing these morning shows here for you every single morning on your drive, on your commute, shorts, reels, all that stuff. So hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let me know. Let's make it interactive. And I actually, unlike other channels, I like to try to reply to as many people as I can, keeping it humble and, what's the word? Genuine. I guess that's the word I'm trying. Authenticity. That's something that a lot of people lack these days. I try to dive into the comments, so drop a comment below. I know it's a bit of an intro here, but there's a lot to cover to make sure you guys win. I want to cover the bases. And also, finally, if you haven't gotten the 16-round draft solution, what are you doing? Don't wait. I'm telling you, run, don't walk, grab it, thefantasyfootballaccounts.com. I've also linked it below. Sleepers, breakouts, optimal players, draft each draft, ironclad roster, principal cheat sheet, which I update till the season starts. Secure the solution, secure the championship. It's that simple. Do not draft without it. You are literally drafting blind. You got to get 16 rounds, okay? Don't go in there with blinders. You're going to be blown out. I want you guys to blow out the competition, grab 16 rounds, okay? So let's get into it here. And usually when I start the show, we start off with some latest news and notes with, you know who it is, Breaking Brad.
We now have breaking news.
Now, there's been a lot of preseason stuff going on, okay? So there is news, but the news that I'm going to mention, there's some injury, stuff like that. It's a lot of like, this guy ran for 6 out of 7 for 49 yards. Like, there's a lot of like that type of news, but there is some injuries. I want to mention some important things that kind of just jumped out at me, okay? Rachaad White groin, suffered a groin injury during preseason game August 9th, will not return. I've got no Rachaad White stock. Do not draft Rachaad White. He sucks. But just for Bucky Irving, if you guys look at that Bucky Irving, it's a little better there. I'm not excited about Rachaad White at all. I was the only guy telling you to avoid him last year. He was coming off like round 4 or something crazy, okay? Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden owners, or people that like Matthew Golden, the rookie wide receiver for the Packers. Jaden Reed, foot issues, was in a walking boot Saturday, August 9th, and did not specify if the injury he suffered the past week is serious. He says, I don't want to be wrong about anything, Reed said. No, I ain't going to be the one to say. So, not good. Not good, but really good for Matthew Golden. If you're looking at him, there's a breakout for you, potential. And there's a bonus one for you. That's why you got to listen to the news. You're getting some golden nuggets here in the news section that can be vital to your success, okay? Tajay Spears, ankle. A lot of people were worried. Funny story here. I'm in this dynasty league with Jimmy the Maverick, and we're going to get him on in a day or two. And I did a trade with him. He gave me Calvin Ridley, and I gave him my Tajay Spears because I have a lot of running back depth, as you know, and I had Tajay sitting there. And I trade him that, and then this news comes out that he's hurt. And then so I send him like, Tajay's hurt, man. I feel so bad for you. And sure enough, it's just a high ankle sprain. Probably be a couple weeks. And yeah, that's good. It's not too serious. And Jimmy needed some depth at running back, and I just want another wide receiver. And I love Calvin Ridley this year, okay? A couple other things worth noting. I'm just going to keep rolling through the news. Again, when you are looking at news, you got to stay on top of it. And also my story mode on Instagram, Fantasy Football Counselor, go to my story mode and turn on the bell there. I'm putting these news updates there. Cam Scatterbo was unable to make his preseason debut due to the hamstring injury. He remains listed behind the starter Tyrone Tracy and veteran journeyman Devin Singletary on the team's first initial preseason depth chart. Interesting, that hamstring, it lingers. And I know this because I was a Leonard Fournette owner years ago, and that was the year where he had the hamstring injury, and it just kept lingering. It's really frustrating when a running back has a hamstring that just keeps lingering. It's not good, okay? So Cam Scatterbo, whatever. I was a little high on him, but now I'm just like, I'm a little turned off, to be honest with you. And it's a Giant, so it's not exciting. The guy's a beast. Like, he's got some upside. Don't get me wrong, but this hamstring thing is just kind of turning me off a little bit, okay? Seattle Seahawks Kenneth Walker, foot issue, did not practice Sunday, August 10th. The coaches didn't provide any updates, but he missed time in training camp earlier due to foot injury, so it might be related. Again, this is an issue with Kenneth Walker. I'm just not a Kenneth Walker advocate. I don't trust the guy. I think he's glass. So we'll see. Yeah, brittle. I'm not sold on him at all. And he blocked me for calling him out on this years ago, right? Cam Ward, we're talking about that news where it's just kind of like preseason stuff. 5 for 8 passes for 67 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions in his preseason debut. We're going to talk about him a little bit in the show, okay? And finally, there's just a couple more little bits of notes here I want to mention to you guys. Spencer Rattler, New Orleans Saints, came in 7 for 11 passes, 53 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And it was a Tyler Shuck, a.k.a. Shuff, whatever you want to call him, 15 of 22 for 165 yards. He had that big pass. I don't know how many yards. It was like 54-yard pass, and, not bad. He had an interception as well. And that one interception, people were like, oh, he sucks, and they made a mistake, and then he threw a kind of a long pass. He did well, but 15 of 22 for 165, not bad, but don't take all of this preseason stuff to heart, right? Unless it's Kyler Murray, because I don't know if you guys saw that, but Kyler Murray threw right to the defenders. Like, his wide receiver wasn't anywhere in the vicinity of that pass. And we're talking, how many years has Kyler been in the league now? 6, 7? Like he's a veteran. Like, what are you doing, Kyler? Honestly, like, you're throwing the pass, and it's nowhere near, like, you're throwing beach balls here. Like, I don't know, like, it makes no sense to me, man. Like, I don't even know how this guy's even a starter, right? And you guys are ripping at me later because one of the breakouts is Marvin Harrison Jr. We'll get to that in a second, so don't rip me on that yet. We're going to talk about it, okay? Alec Pierce's groin is dealing with a groin injury, which he suffered in practice just yesterday, Sunday, okay, August 10th. Just note that I have no Alex Pierce stock, nor do I care for Alec Pierce, but I do like Tyler Warren because, yeah, as you can see, the wide receivers suck or just get hurt, okay? A.J. Brown, also hamstring issue, was able to practice or participate in practice on Sunday yesterday, but he missed a few days of practice due to his injury, and he did not play in the preseason opener against the Bengals. So note this, guys. You're drafting A.J. Brown, what, second round, third round, wherever he's falling. Note this stuff. It could be important, and it could be catastrophic if these hamstring thing lingers. You don't want that. You don't want that in your life. And that's pretty much it for injuries and things that are popping out at me. And I will keep you up to date. Follow my Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor, and you will be up to date on the latest news and notes with, you know who it is, Breaking Brad.
We now have breaking news.
And that is it for breaking news. Let's dive right into this here. Again, if you haven't gotten 16 rounds, go grab it, run, don't walk. Grab 16 rounds, thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Secure the solution, secure the championship. Go grab it right now. All right, let's talk about these top 10 breakouts. And like I said, the last two, immense value, top 5, top 10 potential. And the first one, let's just go right to it. A guy that I absolutely love is Omarion Hampton, all right? Here's the deal. Why do I love this guy so much? It's very easy. Now, I was reading some news here on Najee Harris and what Harbaugh was saying. They're asking him, can Najee Harris open his eyes? And he's like, I could tell you he can, or something like that, right? Like, they're not telling you how much time he's going to miss. They're not telling you anything in regards to what's going on with Najee Harris. Now, Najee Harris ended up actually posting a picture on Snapchat. I don't have the picture up here, but again, follow my story mode on Instagram, and I got a Discord group below. There's a link to my Discord right below, okay, on here on this YouTube. And I posted that picture of Najee Harris, and he's wearing his visor and his mask, but his left eye, guys, it's closed. It's closed. I don't think he could open it fully. And the fact that he's not fully participating, this is an issue. And I'll tell you why. This is why I love Omarion Hampton more. Now, I recommended Omarion in my 16-round draft solution, but as soon as I found it, like, I knew Najee was there first, and I just felt that Najee was going to be a major pest. But now Hampton is in a position, we're talking about a guy, 6 foot, 220 pounds, 4.46 speed, 1,600 plus yards last year, 5.9 yards per carry, physical, amazing burst, great hands. We're talking about the complete running back. Is in a situation where he can really run away with his job. You don't have to worry about Najee Harris. You just don't have to worry about this guy early on anyway, right? And that's where he can run away with his job. Hampton can. So he's just really appealing on a great offense with a good O-line. It's just a really sexy situation that I'm just really just excited about. I can't explain to you how exciting this looks. Like, this guy could honestly finish as the top fantasy football running back simply on situation. We saw Austin Eckler, who sucks, thrive in this offense. We saw Dobbins in this offense do well. Omarion Hampton is a monster. He's awesome. He's great. I go watch his tape, man. He's hurdling over people. He's running over people. He's got that breakaway speed when he needs it. I'm telling you, man, there's something exciting about this situation that just makes me giddy, and you get him in the second round. Now, some people say, well, Joe, he's actually a third round guy. He is, but here's the deal. If you have, let's say you draft 10th overall, 12th overall, and you come back at your second pick, if you don't get him here, he's not coming back 24 picks. He's not coming back to you. He's not going to come to you to the end of the third round. He's just not going to happen. You're not getting Hampton there. So you got to get him in the second round if you want him. Now, if you go late second, if you go first overall, right? You go, let's say, by Jan. Comes back around 24th pick to the 12-person league. You may be able to lucky to stack him, but he's not coming back. I'm telling you, his ADP continues to rise. And I really believe that the Chargers are just not telling you enough about Najee. They're lying. They're not telling us. It's kind of a piss off, but it is what it is. But I love Omarion Hampton. Big time breakout potential, right? Number 2 here, we got Ricky Pearsall. Round 7 ADP, give or take, 94 overall. We're talking about a guy here that was a first overall pick last year. And you know what happened? He got shot, whatever. It's unfortunate what happened. I'm glad he's okay. But we're talking a great talent player. He only had 3 touchdowns, 400 yards last year, 11 games played, give or take, right? Now, here's why I like him, right? Ayuk's banged up. He's done. He's pup. I don't even know why they paid that guy $120 million. What a waste of money. I could have told him not to do it, right? When he was being a diva and all that stuff. Ayuk's a waste of money. He sucks. Jennings is okay, and then you got Kittle. You got CMC. Is he going to stay healthy? There's a clear path to wide receiver 1 here for Ricky Pearsall. And for the value of round 7, why not? Now, this is what I keep telling everybody. It's like, you want to load up top heavy on running backs because, as you can see, there's value here at wide receiver. You are essentially getting a potential wide receiver 1 later. And he's just one example. There's other guys. And even like, he's not on this list, but Calvin Ridley, we just talked about, right? I briefly touched up on, Cam Ward, which we're going to talk about later because he's on this list. There's a little preview there. So, there is value at that wide receiver position where you just can't get the value at running back. And like I said, there could be some guys that could break out. I have running back sleepers, guys like Woody Marks, right? For example. But it's the path to running back 1, the way that it sits, not as clear. Whereas you could see guys like Pearsall, guys like the next guy I'm going to mention, the path is clear that these guys could be the wide receiver 1. That's what I'm telling you. Load up on top heavy running backs, right? And you get these wide receivers later. Example, Ladd McConkey and Brian Thomas Jr. last year, right? Round 7 to 9 were both where these guys were coming off. And people are like, you're crazy, Joe. Like, you think these guys are going to be the one? I'm like, absolutely. It's so obvious. Like, if you look at the competition there, they had Quentin Johnson there with the Chargers. Again, you got to look at the depth chart. We're talking fantasy football draft strategy. They had Quentin Johnson there, and they had Christian Kirk. I'm like, dude, this is so obvious. Like, Brian Thomas is easily the one. And people weren't seeing that because the rankings we're telling you that Kirk is ahead of him, ahead of Brian Thomas. I'm like, dude, you guys are nuts. Like, how do you not see this? And this is the clarity that you get with this channel. This is the clarity you get with 16-round draft solution, that the sheep in your league they just draft you on ADP. They're going to lose. All right. So make sure you guys do grab that. All right. Keon Coleman is number 3. Big breakout. Now, there is kind of a sour taste in my mouth with this guy. He did not perform the way I thought he'd perform last year. We're talking about an early second round pick last year. What was it, like first pick, second round last year? And I love Keon Coleman. I love his ability. I love where he was drafted. And I love his value this year. And we heard that he put on some weight, like muscle weight. He's put on some strength, which is really good. I always like to see that. I like these guys, putting on some solid weight, like muscle, like not fat. Like we want him to get better, right? Like strength. So when you look at the situation, they didn't draft anybody there that's going to be a threat to him in regards to volume taking away. And then you've got Shakir, aka Shakira, banged up. He's in a walking boot. He should be ready week 1, whatever he's dealing with. And you got Palmer, who sucks. He defines years to wow us. We're not wowed. You got Curtis Samuel, who last year everybody's saying he's the one, along with Kincaid. Kincaid was coming off round 3. I'm like, dude, why are you drafting Kincaid round 3? So yes, I was drafting Coleman round 9 and 10 last year, but hey, I don't care that he busted. I do care, obviously, but like, I'm not as upset as the people that drafted like Samuel ahead of him last year, or guys like Kincaid, which everyone was telling you to do last year. Those guys busted, but it wasn't like a third round pick would be more, I'd be more pissed than a ninth or 10th round pick. That being said, I really think he's in a good position this year, and Allen's got nobody else to throw to. He's going to throw to Keon Coleman. He's going to use him unless Keon Coleman absolutely sucks. He's going to get the ball. There's nobody else there. And the fact that they didn't draft anybody tells me they believe in him, or they didn't bring anybody else in that's going to take away that volume. He's the alpha. Just draft Keon Coleman. You'll thank me later, okay? He's a nice little stack there with Josh Allen, okay? People are drafting Josh Allen as like their number 1 quarterback, and like, this is his number 1 receiver. Like, why aren't we talking about this? All right? Now, so people say, oh, Shakira. No, Shakira sucks, man. He's not the true alpha, believe me. All right, next one here is number 4 is Marvin Harrison Jr. Big time breakout potential. 34 overall, rounds 3 to 4 ADP. Last year kind of sucked, let's be honest. And he was a second round pick. Busted on that ADP, did not perform anywhere near the way he should have based on his talent. And a big part could be Kyler Murray. And like, we saw the first preseason game, and Kyler Murray didn't look that good. It was just that one throw, okay? It was a bad throw. Go again, follow my Insta. I posted it there. It's just a bad throw. Like I said, there was not even there was too many defenders in sight, not even a receiver in sight. It wasn't even close. It was like, I don't know if it slipped out of his little hands, or I just don't know. But either way, Marvin Harrison Jr. he's got to step up. He has to step up. Like, he could only do better. Now, Trey McBride out-targeted him last year, 147 to 116. You can make an argument that Trey's the one, but his touchdowns suck. Trey only had 2 receiving touchdowns. Finished with 249 points. So if you put that in perspective in regards to wide receivers, he's like a top 10 to 12 wide receiver fantasy point wise, which is pretty good, right? But to me, personally, I'm not going to be drafting a tight end early. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. steps up. I think he becomes the alpha this year and takes over that position there. I think I really just don't believe in Kyler that much, but when you have nobody else to throw to, he's the only person you're going to be throwing to. There's no one else there that's worthy or even going to be taking away volume away. And I don't even know why Kyler is even a QB1. He's not good. He's kind of on borrowed time. So you got he's got to get something done this year. So I think something's going to happen here. Do I have any Marvin Harrison Jr. stock? I'm recommending him in 16 rounds as an option, as for people that are maybe in 3 wide receiver leagues and they want to feel a little bit warm and fuzzy and get a wide receiver earlier on. But I'm just not drafting him, because around 3, I'm looking at a Travion Henderson. I'm looking at an upside running back that I can get this prime for a ton of workhorse volume. That's what I'm looking at. So for me, I'm passing on him. I'm not going to have stock. I think I got him in a best ball league or something like that. But other than that, not much Marvin Harrison Jr. stock, but the breakout potential's there. Okay. And he's better value than last year, and he's trending up. So he's due. Okay. Number 5 here, we got another rookie here for you who I love, is Emeka Egbuka. Why do I love this guy? There's so many reasons, man. The biggest thing for me was I initially did not like the situation. because Godwin was there. And now you're hearing Godwin's going to miss time, 1-2 weeks, maybe it's going to be more. And this is the same situation we got with Hampton. You got a situation where you got this amazing elite talent guy who just needs an opportunity and the opportunity is going to be there now. Like Godwin's not going to get in the way, and neither is Najee. It's going to be full flow with these guys, and I believe in the talent, and I believe they're going to take off. So when I look at it like Emeka Egbuka, man, oh man, it's exciting. And if you look at the note here, Baker is 5th in passing. Okay, last year, 570. So there's going to be a ton of volume. He's going to pass a lot. Guess who's going to catch the ball? Emeka. Guess who's going to be drawing the top corners? Probably Evans. And Evans is over the hill. I'm not really an Evans fan, man. I'm just not. Emeka's taking that wide receiver 1 spot, okay? It kind of reminds me of, and you could say that, Evans is better than Thielen. Kind of reminds me when Jefferson came in and he kind of took that job. Not kind of, did take that job. And Thielen was kind of at his end of his career type thing. And Thielen was decent. Like, I think he sucked, but he was decent, right? And Evans is obviously better than Thielen. And maybe Jefferson's probably better than Emeka, but we don't know. But it just reminds me of that situation where the young guy comes in, he's superior, he's electric. Now, he's an electric player. He's an electric after the catch, amazing hands, great route runner. We're talking Emeka here, 4.45 speed. He's a good 6'1", 205. And listen, 110 overall. We're talking round 8. Now, I talked about this in my video yesterday. If you want Emeka, and if you're in a high-stakes league, you might have to pay a 6 to 7 round pick to get him, depending on where you're sitting in draft. I'll give you a quick example. I drafted from the 10th spot on the 5-6 turn. I didn't get Emeka. I lost him at the 7-2. Stick with me. I was in the 6th, right? At the 6th pick, 6th round, and it went back after me, and it came down. It came off of the 7-2. So when round 7 came, there was no Emeka there. And the draft before that, because I was watching other people draft, or like on their YouTube channel, the site I'm on, they had a video of this main event thing that I'm in, the big money stake league. And basically I was watching this and Emeka came off at 8-5. So I figured that I was going to get him on the 7th round coming back around, but just not the case. And a guy like Tyler Warren, I was getting in best ball like round 8 to 9. And he came off round 6, another guy that I love. So again, it's like when you're in these high stake leagues, people know kind of what's up, right? They're not Joseph Robert, but they get what's up. And if you want Emeka, you're gonna have to pay. But I just think there's so much upside and huge breakout potential, right? The next guy here is nothing more but an RB5 for me. And I've got him in a bunch of leagues, but Trey Benson. Now, they just did a video, and I don't know how much credibility I give this guy. Kyler Murray, again, we're talking about him. He's kind of been a focal point of this conversation today. But there's some breakout potential on those Cardinals. Don't sleep on them. So I was listening to a video, and Kyler's like, yeah, man, like Benson's he sees a breakout. He says, I call a breakout for him. He says basically he sees more confidence. He says more reps, the better he gets. Him and Marvin Harrison, and that's what Kyler was saying. Now, I'm not really a Kyler fan, and Kyler needs to kind of fix himself before it's kind of like with Kyler Murray, it's like, dude, like put the oxygen mask on your face before you put it on to your players, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Like the whole analogy, like take care of yourself. You got to focus on you. But anyways, he's supposed to be the leader of this team. So if he's saying that, and I'm feeling it, that Benson's going to break out, I feel it too. And I people don't believe this, but I really feel that Benson should have been the starter last year. Maybe he wasn't ready. But I'm not Connor's not the alpha. I've never thought Connor was the alpha. He was a backup for years for the Steelers. I don't look at him as a top dog. He's safe. I mean, he played like 9 seasons. 2 of those seasons, he finally cracked like 1,000 or something. And it was like last year, the year before, and the past 2 years actually. But Connor's not good, dude. Like he's old. He's not exciting. He's not electric. Benson was a 3rd round pick. He should have just got more work. And he was a top running back prospect coming out of last year's draft. So I would run, if I want to win, I'm running the young, hungry guy. And we've already heard Benson come out and say like, dude, like I'm hungry. I want to win. Basically like 2 RB1s. Now he wants to get work. Like he wants to perform. Now in preseason, he had 9 rushes. What do you have? Like 3.2 yards per carry, 1 reception for 20 yards. Like you're not helping your case here, but it is again preseason. I'm not going to put too much weight on it, but I know that he is hungrier this year and he's set for breakout, a value pick later. Okay. Number 7, let's keep rolling along here. Again, if you're new to the channel, smash, tap it, and make sure you guys do grab that 60-round draft solution. Do not draft without it. Number 7 here is Cam Ward. And this guy's completely slept on. It's almost like practically disrespectful. In fact, I was reading somewhere that like he is one of, if not the least talked about quarterbacks that was drafted first overall. It's crazy. Like no one's talking about the 6'2", 219 player out of Miami. Accurate, explosive, reliable. And then this is another note I got from his from the scouts there. Ice water veins, which means under pressure, man, he is good. And not to mention, he's quick. Mentally, he's very tough, very smart player, and work ethic. And this is the guy that gets up at 5 a.m. or stays after practice after. Like, he is ready to go. All right? Now, 5 for 8, 67 yards, 89 passer rating in his first preseason game. Not the most exciting thing to get excited about, but hey, listen, he's going undrafted in single quarterback leagues. He's like QB 26, 27 overall. You know, it's crazy, dude. Like there is some upside here. There's some good weapons around him. I do like Ridley. I like, a couple other guys they brought in. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. And the thing is, like, he's not like a Jaden Daniels mobile, but he can move when he needs to. And that's exciting. Like, he has that runability, but when he needs to do it. So listen, Cam Ward's got an opportunity to really break out, really silence the haters. And it's one of those guys where, like, people just kind of discount people because they're rookies. And that's great because I'm able to see those rookies and exploit that and take advantage of it and draft those rookies and dominate. We saw that last year with guys like Glad McConkey, Brian Thomas Jr., for example, right? So this year, I think there's just going to be a lot of shockers in regards to how well rookies do. And we got 3 coming up right now that are going to shock the world. But Cam Ward's one of them. I'm just feeling something. I think he could be really, really special, all right? Breakout potential. All right, number 8 here. We got 3 rookies to wrap it up. And I love these guys. Got a lot of stock in this next guy and the last 2 guys for that matter, just simply based on volume and just how much upside they have. But Caleb Johnson, okay? I mean, we're talking big time sleeper here. We're talking RB26. And this is what bothers me, right? You got Aaron Jones, who sucks. You got Tony Pollard, who sucks. You got Swift. You got James Conner, who suck. Ahead of Caleb Johnson. I think we're going to look back at this next year and be like, wow, I cannot believe Caleb Johnson was RB27. It's going to be one of those conversations, right? When I'm like, the sheep lied to you yet again, and they're just simply just discounting him because he's a rookie. But you got to look at the situation. You got to look at how good this guy is. This guy has reliable hands. He's controlled violent runner. He's good on the inside. He can run on outside. I mean, he's got it all. He's got a nose for the end zone, natural lean forward ability. Like, I'm telling you, man, shedding tacklers. And you can get this guy round 6 with 260 freed up targets, 263, I believe, to be exact, with Najee being shipped off. This, to me, I look at it, I'm just thinking, man, this is such a steal. And we know that the Steelers run the workhorse running back. They always have. Tomlin's been doing this for years. And the fact of the matter is, people keep saying like Arthur Smith. Like, I get Arthur Smith as a pest. I know he tries to get cute and annoying. Not like cute like he's like, looks-wise cute, like with plays. Like, I was hearing in training camp, he lined up like 4 tight ends and he ran the ball to Geno Smith. Like, this is the type of stuff that's going to probably piss me off if it happens in a real game. But aside from that, like, they need a bruiser. If they want to win, and listen to this, like, this is a year where Tomlin needs to go deep into the playoffs. A winning record just isn't going to cut it. Like, he's got to make it, man. He's got to go deep. And they need to pound that rock, man. And there's just no way around it. And Warren's not the guy. And I keep saying this to people who think, well, Warren's the one. Jaylen Warren sucks. And he had 120 attempts last year with the crappy Najee Harris there. Dude, if you can't beat Najee Harris for the starting job, you suck. Because Najee Harris can't average 4 yards per carry. So, listen, I'm just looking at Caleb Johnson, and I'm just like, dude, opportunity. Shine, baby, shine. Huge breakup potential, tons of volume. And he looked okay in preseason. Like, he looked pretty mobile, pretty strong, his reliable hands, exactly as advertised. And understand, like, it was the first game these guys are playing, these rookies. They got some jitters, right? Guys like Travion Henderson looked amazing. Like, his first time he touched the ball, he ran it back for 100 yards on a punt return. Pretty remarkable. Who is not on this list, but there's a bonus one for you again. Travion Henderson. Love him. All right. But Caleb Johnson, prime for a huge breakout. All right. Number 9 here. Let's wrap this up. Again, make sure you guys thumbs up, subscribe. Got some big episodes coming. We are Full Flow Fantasy. I want to make sure you guys win. I also do direct coaching. I've linked it below. Direct coaching. If you want my NFL picks, Counselor's Edge below, join. There's so many ways. I'm just here to help you guys think outside the box and win and just dominate. So join the Counselor's Edge below, and you'll be light years ahead of the sheep there and the bets as well. Okay. Next one here, 9 is Elijah Arroyo. And at the beginning of the show, I said that this guy has potential to be top 5. Sure, why not? Why wouldn't he? Right? You got Darnold there. They got no wide receiver outside of JSN. They got what's his name? Horton there, but he's a rookie. I don't know, man. There could be something there. And then you got Kupp. I don't trust Cooper Kupp. I don't think he stays healthy. But when you look at a guy like Elijah Arroyo, phenomenal hands. They got rid of Noah Fant. We had him on the show. Go back a couple episodes. Go back like a week. I had an interview with him. Okay. And the deal is like, he's a really good pass catching, tight end. Natural hands, red zone target. It's exciting. And he's sitting at tight end 30. Now, I'm not saying like go draft him in the 4th round, but you can get a 6'4", 245, amazing tight end in a great situation as a sleeper at the end, and there's major breakup potential. So I'm saying, Elijah Arroyo, keep him on your radar if you have some bench space, or if you just need that second tight end with some upside, go for it, okay? And last but not least, and by any means, is Dante Thornton. And I didn't spell his name wrong, but the apostrophe should be, I don't want to mess up my man's name here because he was on my show, and we kind of keep in touch over DM on Instagram. I messaged him like, dude, I'm rooting for you, man. I'm like, congrats. You're on first team. You're going to be the wide receiver 1 on the Raiders. And now it's time to take over the full league and be the best wide receiver. He goes, appreciate you, man. And he was on the show. All right. So listen, I'm excited about Thornton, wide receiver 103. And I believe he's the wide receiver 1 on the Raiders. Myers sucks. Like when I look at Myers, I don't think to myself, oh, there's the wide receiver 1. He's not the wide receiver 1. He sucks. All right. Similarly to Christian Kirk last year, sucks. Not a true wide receiver 1, a fake, phony. There's a lot of fake and phony guys that they put in, and they're the wide receiver 1 or they're the running back 1. No, they're not. And by the way, the Suckasode's coming soon. I gotta get that done pretty soon. I should probably get that done this week. So subscribe, turn on the bell. You don't want to miss that. The Suckasode. Yes, I go through all the depth chart to tell you all the players that suck. But the reason I like Dante Thornton, I'm just gonna wrap this up. 4.3 speed. Tall, but he's 6'5", 6'6". Like, it's crazy. He's that rare combination of size and speed, reliable hands, which is like, typically when you look at guys like that, they're lanky. Maybe you remember certain players like Quentin Johnson, maybe like those skinny guys, the tall guys. Sometimes they like do body catches or something. Like this guy actually has reliable hands. Like I can't express to you how excited I am for this guy. And when you look at guys like, we talked about Baker Mayfield throwing a lot. Geno Smith throws a lot too. You're going to get a lot of passes, like 500 plus. Like he throws a lot. And everyone's saying Brock Bowers. Like that is going to be the biggest bust. I'm really convinced that Brock Bowers is going to be him and Ladd McConkey are just 2 guys like blaring red flags that these guys are going to bust. Because the simple reasoning is this. Coming off a pinnacle year, number 1, their ADP is super high, way too expensive, inflated based on last year. Because we were getting these guys round 7 for Ladd, round 7 or 8, and Brock like after 9 or 10. Like he was just like free pretty much last year. So just on that alone, I'm avoiding him because they're too expensive. But just simply for the fact that it's an entirely new offense. Entirely new. New quarterback for the Raiders. Thornton is there. Besh is there. Right? Like Gentry's, like forget that. Like he's done. Like there's no way Bowers is even going to be the one. That being said, I still think he's a good talent, but I'm just not paying a 2nd round pick for him. And also with Ladd, I think he's a great talent, but he's already banged up. He's banged up. They brought in Keenan Allen. They brought in Omari Hant. They're going to run the ball first. All right. And then they got Trey Harris. Like, are you kidding me, dude? Those guys weren't there last year. So Ladd's screwed, dude. Like Ladd is screwed, dude. Ladd is screwed, dude. That rhymes. Okay. So don't be a donkey and draft Ladd McConkey. Coming from the guy who told you to not be a donkey and draft Ladd McConkey last year. The only one telling you to draft Ladd McConkey and not be a donkey. Now I'm telling you, don't be a donkey and fade him. All right. So hopefully that all made sense. That was a lot of talking. But yeah, subscribe, thumbs up, guys. There's top 10 breakouts here for you. And yeah, go draft these guys. Just amazing opportunity, amazing talent, amazing situations. Target them, get them on your rosters, and grab the 16-round draft. Also, join my Patreon. below for direct access, waiver wire starts and sits, and in-season access. All right? I appreciate it, man. Longer show today. We're going to get Jim. We're going to get Tim. We're going to get Walter on this week. It's going to be exciting, man. So make sure you guys turn on the bell, subscribe, and go follow on Insta. All right? Have yourself a great day. Wherever you're going, travel safe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm out.